Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of PT and Coffee. My name is Bree. I'm a physical therapist currently living and practicing in Northwest Montana. I'm with a company called Professional Therapy Associates in Kalispell. Just wanted to say thanks again for tuning in. This week's episode is a little different just because I have to go back to the Midwest for my best friend's wedding this week, so my schedule for work changed a little bit. This episode will have been pre-recorded, so you won't necessarily have the option to like or comment as we go. However, I still want to hear from you. So if you have questions or comments or something particularly resonates with you, please go ahead and comment, like, or love it anyways. So this week, I am drinking my coffee from a mug that I got at an art fair in Duluth, Minnesota while I lived there. I really like trying to find local places and local businesses to support. So if anybody has any great ideas or local businesses they love in Montana, please let me know. So today's episode, I'm going to talk about the recommended amount of physical activity that we get per week. So the current recommendation is 150 minutes of moderate activity per week or 75 minutes of vigorous activity per week, plus 2 to 3 days of resistance training. It really seems like a lot, doesn't it? Even for me, who loves exercise and activity, that's a lot when you put it in just those numbers like that. But there's a lot of different ways and different things that count towards that activity total that I'm going to discuss today. So first things first, before I give you some ideas, I want to tell you why exercise is important in my life too. I really started relying on exercise in late undergrad and grad school to help manage my anxiety and a lot of the stress that I was having in my life. I was horrible at trying to make time for me and do things that I wanted to do too. And just kept doing school and more school and more school on top of that. And it got to a point where I was pretty stressed out. But then I decided that I should probably start practicing what I was going to preach and began incorporating exercise into my daily routine. By no means did I start at 40 to 45 minutes of exercise per day, per week. That was a lot, especially with the demands of school and volleyball and whatever else life was going to throw at me that week. But I started small and just gradually started building it into my routine. Now that it's part of my routine, I don't really see it as a chore. Some days it absolutely is. If there's a busy day or I work long hours or something like that, exercise maybe won't be on the top of my priority list. However, I am being mindful to try to make up for it a different day. So, and then I ended up getting a dog recently. You can see her hanging out behind me here, just sleeping in the corner. And she has also been super helpful in adding significantly more activity to my daily routines. I'm really grateful for her because if I didn't have her, I would spend an hour and a half a day extra just sitting in my apartment doing who knows what. But because I have Luna, I am more mindful and aware of the time that I need to spend exercising her and being outside. So in that way, having a pet or even kids can be really helpful in knowing and promoting you and pushing you to doing more activity. And then lastly, I work with so many people who can't do the things they love. So for me, I try to view my daily activity and exercise as something I get to do instead of something that I have to do. And just that tiny little change in my mindset made a huge difference. There was absolutely times where I'd be dragging my feet, wouldn't want to go to the gym, would make excuses and just do everything I could not to go instead. But once I adopted that mindset and saw how many people that I work with per day that can't exercise and can't use their bodies how they want. It made a really big difference in my own mindset and activity too. So let's swing back to those recommendations. The 150 minutes a week is a lot. It really seems like a lot, especially if you have your own busy life with work and or school or family. Things like that all can get in the way of adding more activity to your day. However, I don't think a lot of people realize that those few minutes or that time can be broken into chunks throughout your week. As little as 5 minutes at a time, can be added towards your weekly total. So we can do really a lot of things in 5 minutes. Even though it seems like we might lose that time pretty quickly during the day, those really can add up. So instead of spending 5 minutes scrolling on your Instagram or Facebook or something like that, take a time to go walk up and down the flight of stairs a few times. Or maybe you're getting to work a little bit earlier so you can park farther away and have a little bit more of a walk into your building. That's it. Adding those little things into your routine over time, it can eventually make a big difference. Some other things I like to encourage people to do is maybe stand up and take a break for some stretching or some jumping jacks even from your desk. Not only will you feel refreshed when you sit back down to do your work, but your heart will be pumping a little bit extra too. And that counts as towards your activity goals for the week. Anything really that gets you up and out of your chair will count towards that, whether it be vacuuming, if you're up and cleaning your house a little bit. Yard work is another big thing this time of year that nobody likes to do, but believe it or not, it counts towards your activity for the day. So a lot of little ways that you can incorporate it into your day. And maybe you have family or friends that you feel obligated to spend time with, or you know you have to entertain. So why not round up your family or even your dog and take a little walk after dinner? Or take your kids outside to play, and instead of playing or sitting and watching them play, hang out with them and chase them around a little bit. All of it counts towards your day or your activity totals for the day. Even better is if your heart gets pumping a little harder than it was when you were sitting. So that's where the vigorous activity comes in, is just anything that's more strenuous and raises your heart rate further. I like to use the talk test to help people discern between the two. So if you can hold a conversation, like you're walking with a friend and can keep talking and chatting no problem, that would fall into the moderate activity category. But if you're taking a jog or walking up a really steep hill, or that flight of stairs is just kicking your butt that day, that goes in the vigorous column. So you wouldn't be able to converse with your friend that you're with. So why exercise? I know everybody understands that it's good for us in general, right? But there's really a lot of things that we don't necessarily think about that go with exercise. The walking activities and the cardio, what's considered cardiovascular endurance exercise, so the walking, the biking, jogging, hiking, skiing, that kind of stuff, is actually shown to boost your immunity, which is kind of crazy, right? And especially in a time with kids going back to school and picking up who knows what, and COVID out and about or around, exercise a little, and that can help really boost your immunity. Also, exercise is good for preventing chronic diseases like obesity and diabetes and hypertension are the big three. Just by incorporating a little extra exercise into your day, you can either help prevent those from worsening if you have them already, or prevent them from happening at all. Same thing with some other diseases we don't necessarily think about, like dementia and Alzheimer's and even Parkinson's. all have been shown that exercise can help prevent those sorts of things. And like I was talking about before, exercise has really been helpful to decrease my own stress and anxiety in my life. And there's a ton of research that shows that it can be good for helping elevate your mood and giving a little endorphin boost, just to help take your mind off things too. How that works towards decreasing the stress in your daily life. And as you continue to make this exercise part of your routine and part of your habit, or your daily habits, you'll notice that your energy levels can start to increase too. You'll be able to do more than you could without getting tired. And let's be honest, besides a good cup of coffee, and a good meal, there's not too terribly many ways to boost your energy in that way. And everybody could use it, right? So just keep working and chipping away at adding the exercise into your life. Taking a little bit of a break from your work desk or your studying can actually help improve your focus and your productivity when you return to it. So if you're feeling stuck and maybe are frustrated with where you're at or what you're working on, stand up, walk away, do a little exercise, take that flight of stairs down and come back up, and try again. You could be that much better off when you're back. And lastly, the exercise also can help improve your sleep. That's kind of a no-brainer. If you're wearing yourself out during the day, you're going to sleep better and more soundly at night. So you wake up feeling refreshed, more energized, and ready for whatever the next day brings. So kind of in summary, it's really important to view exercise as not these big daunting numbers, but really small chunks of activity that you're doing through your day. Anything as little as 5 minutes can help add up to your total for the day and the week. But more importantly, it's really important to consider that these changes should be made positively and not something that you're like, oh, I'm so frustrated with myself, I can't do this, I need to lose weight, or I need to make these changes because my doctor tells me. Try to make it something that you're excited about and want to do every day. Exercise has this big negative connotation around it sometimes, where a lot of people think, I need to go to the gym, I need to run miles, I need to do X, Y, Z. But really, if you think about the activities you're doing instead of exercise, you're already doing it. It's just becoming a little more aware and adding a little more of it into your life. So, as always, if you have any questions for me, please feel free to comment them on this post or shoot me a message and I'll get back to them as soon as I can. And then if you want any more ideas on how to incorporate activity into your life, go ahead and check out my website. There's a free ebook for you to download that has plenty of ideas regarding safe and social distance exercise. In the meantime, have a good week, everybody.